There's a great scene. The movie reference may be a little comical, but in Live Free or Die Hard, one of the 18th installment in the Die Hard series, there's this great scene where Bruce Willis, the kind of bumbling cop who ends up saving the world, has got this knucklehead kid with him who's kind of the computer geek, and they're in the midst of stopping this kind of cyber terrorism from destroying the United States, and the kid's like, wow, he's like, what are we thinking? Like we're not heroes. We're not. And Bruce Willis says, no, we're not heroes. We're just the guys who are here. Like, I love that posture. Yep, that's kind of how this works. We're not heroes. We're the people that were on the other end of that phone last night. Like, we're just the folks who are here, right? That it's just how we love one another and how we help each other toward wholeness, freedom, and life. And so my purpose today is to try and make the four streams accessible and easy to use, kind of bring some clarity to these categories. But what I want you to think of it as we enter into some of these things, just think of it as joining Jesus in his primary work. What he's pretty much wanting to do in any person's life at any given time, like, give him a chance. I mean, I promise you, you simply give him the opportunity, and he will show up. Think of it as ushering in the ministry of Jesus through prayer, or as bringing Jesus into the situation, right? Whether it's in the heart or the mind or the soul or the body. It's one of the richest ways we can partner with God. And in these days, at this stage in the war against the soul, which is the context of our world, in this stage of where we are, there's a lot of people that are going to need this. There's a lot of people that are going to need this, okay? And the number of men and women who need this kind of ministry is increasing and only will increase. So why four streams? Why four? I want to speak to that. You've heard the expression, give a boy a hammer, the whole world looks like a nail. Right? You give a boy a hammer and everything looks like something to be beaten on. Like that's it. He's now got power, he's got influence, he's got a tool, and then everything is all about that. And you've run into people like this where, they've gone to some workshop or something that changed their life, and now everything is about that, right? Whatever your problems may be, it's all the hammer that they happen to be given. I went to an excellent graduate counseling program, and they equipped me in very, very sufficient ways to enter into the lives of people's stories in a counseling context. The problem was, then I opened up, my professional practice and, hung my shingle, and people started showing up at my door, and my little hammer was not sufficient for some of the issues they were facing. I was trying to just bring that one kind of gift or tool or training I had to it, and they didn't need counseling. Some of these people, their brokenness was so profound and devastating, they needed something else. They needed, like in my experience at the time, they just needed a miracle. They needed some sort of deep soul restoration that unpacking their story didn't even touch. And then some people, it was great, and the counseling was what they needed. And then the next person who comes in, it was like, whoa, you could feel the darkness enter the room with them, and you try your your counseling hammer, and nothing budges, and you realize I need something else here. Like this is like demonic, and so you need more than one hammer. and churches get locked into this, and it's really sad. They'll find their one thing, and then they just, like, that's the answer to everything. It's discipleship, or it's principles, or it's worship, or it's, and then that's just their answer for everything. I heard just a horrifying statistic the other day. One of the great works in the world that's going on today is rescuing men and women from human trafficking, rescuing women from the sex trade, rescuing children from sexual trafficking. And there, it's mom and pop, it's on the streets, it's just courageous people doing what they can in very dangerous situations to literally rescue human beings. The horrifying information that I heard the other day is that a large number of those trafficked women choose to go back. Do you know why? Because no one brought them the 4 streams. Because that kind of ravaging of the human soul, that kind of violence, abuse, trauma, evil against the human soul does such levels of damage and allows in such darkness that if you don't kick that darkness out and you don't heal that woman, the demons are just going to drag her right back into it. They're going to actually make her think she wants it. That she wants to go back, that it's the safer place, or do you see what I'm saying? And so, I heard that and I want to throw a chair through a window. It's like, come on, people of God, come on, let's just admit if we've got kind of one hammer, and it's principles or discipleship or prayer or worship, if you look at the way Jesus deals with people's brokenness, and captivity and bondage, he comes to them in 4 streams. Okay? Deliverance, healing, counseling, and discipleship. Deliverance meaning cleansing the soul, freeing the soul from darkness. Healing meaning restoring the soul, like actually bringing a newness and a wholeness to where damage has been done, whatever that damage may be. Counseling, meaning anchoring the soul in the truth, getting truth into the inmost being, as the Scriptures describe. And discipleship, understood as strengthening the soul so that it's not an issue a year down the road. It doesn't, that the soul is strengthened through the resources of the kingdom of God. What I also want to say about the 4 streams is that it is a realm of infinite beauty, playfulness, and creativity. Okay, I'm going to give you some techniques today. I'm going to give you some categories to think in, some things that just over time, through study, prayer, and experience, we know works. But at the same time, I love you just open the door for Jesus. You just make yourself available to Jesus. And we can bring our simplest offerings, and God will use it to heal people. And we can grow into really skillful healers. Both is true. It's a realm of just beauty and playfulness and creativity, and something we can really grow in over time. A few years ago, a friend of ours came to us for prayer, and the immediate context, the crisis, was marriage. But as we got into prayer, Jesus is like, oh, no, actually has nothing to do with that. This is something that took place in the womb. And we're like, in the womb? We've never dealt with that before. What do you want us to do with that? And he's like, I'll show you. Just go with me, pray with me. We'll just, And it was like, wait, we went from marriage to the womb? What? Another guy praying about confusion and lostness and unbelief, and Jesus said he needs a basketball. And I'm like, really? Like right now? Like, you got to be kidding me. You want to give him a basketball, you know? And I just kind of put that out there. I'm like, I think Jesus wants a basketball for you. And, you know, tears. And my dad would never play basketball with me, you know, kind of thing. And it's like, wow, you know, cherry, ka-ching. And like, you can't figure this stuff out. You can't make this stuff up. It is a realm of just whimsy and spontaneity if you will allow Jesus a little room. But it is going to take some courage on your part. It is going to take some courage. You do. He's going to ask you to enter in and make yourself available and kind of go for it and trusting that he'll show up. And it's really just about making ourselves available because this is what's on God's heart. This is what he's up to. And he'll show up.